Let's go. I really got the feeling today that everything is going my way. Now this is what I'm talking about. Every time I see your smile, it makes me shout. Let's go! Let's go! Nothing's gonna stop us today. Get on the bus or get out the way. We're cruising with the radio on. So turn it up to 10. Here comes our favorite song. Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whatever, wherever you find yourself. Welcome to another episode of IoT Tuesday. Happy new month. It's April, new month, new ideas, same show. Welcome again. If this is your first time, this is IoT Tuesday. We demystify IoT to the barest minimum. Talk about IoT stuff related to devices, hardware, dev kits, cloud solutions, all that. And we've been doing a part series on the Azure SDK for C embedded Arduino. We've been following a few things, and we're going to do part 4 today. I'll be sharing some stuff I got in the mail pertaining to some hardware. We'll share that as well. If this sounds like this is something of interest to you, please make sure you subscribe to the channel and continue to have fun with me. Before we get started, let's go take our intro and we will be back. Hello, Obute. Thank you for joining us on Facebook. Awesome, Professor. I need to come and see you one of these days. I've been saying I have to come and visit you guys so we can talk some practical IoT. And I know you are in the field professionally, so in academia side of things. So it'll be good to connect pretty soon to share some of his awesome stuff with your student, and also to think up some cool stuff that we can do together to grow, the STEM or the technology or the technical hands-on experience we have in our educational system. So this is your Shirley Samuel Adjani bringing you another episode of IoT Tuesday. Today, we're going to continue part 4 of exploring the Azure SDK for Arduino embedded stuff. Let's take a look at it. So as you know, before we start, I like to put a couple of things out of the way. This past week was MVP Summit. Yes, there are lots of things I can't talk about because they are NDA, but I can promise you that there's a lot of awesome stuff coming in the areas of Azure IoT, some revamp, some new stuff. And once they become out of, they're no longer under NDA, I would share them with you. Trust me, I'll do that with you. But in the meantime, if you have any questions as you're joining from Facebook, from YouTube, from Twitch, from Twitter, or anywhere you're joining from, just drop a hi so I can acknowledge you on the show. So before we get started, the couple of things I want to share in terms of hardware and stuff that I got. So let's go to the bench and I will share some of these. So I know that, okay, so right now what you're looking at, a bunch of dev kits. This is what we've been using so far. We're using the ESP32 that has, let's see if I can get this focused. I really need to change my bench camera to something that can make it easy for you guys to see. So we're using the ESP32. That's what we're using for this series. And we've connected it, as you can see from here, we've connected it to a DHT11 temperature humidity sensor. So this, as of now, the sketch we have is able to read temperature data from this device. But that's what we'll be using to continue, and this time trying to send the data to Azure IoT. But before we do that, I just like to talk about a few things and do a little unboxing on the show to share stuff. So I got today in my WhatsApp group, I got someone asking me, Samuel, what can I do? I have an Arduino Uno, and what can I do with it? So I wanted to find out if the person had if the person had sensors, extra sensors and stuff that they could connect or combine the Arduino Uno with. So Uno is one of the entry-level dev kits, or Arduino boards or microprocessors that you can use to do IoT stuff, which maybe you can use it to control some servos, control some lights, and other stuff. But I just wanted to share a couple of things on some of the dev kits. So for the person who has the questions, I was talking about sensors, for instance, like this DHT11 sensor, the blue thing you see here, this one. So you could connect that to an Arduino Uno. So the thing about Arduino Uno is that the Uno doesn't have any internet connectivity. So you either have to get a shield. You probably would have to get an Ethernet shield, or one of those shields that allows you to connect it to the internet to be able to use it. All right. So that's just on the Uno side. All right. So there's been a lot of updates on the Azure Sphere. This is one of the earliest Azure Sphere dev kits. Actually, this one is from, I think this was the original one with I think with Microsoft and Seed Studio. Yes. And then this one was with I believe, was it NXP? Avant. Yes, this one is the Microsoft and Avant partnership of it. So there's been update to the two dev kits, Azure Sphere dev kits. So please make sure that you do the updates. Now, something I wanted to share pertaining to that, and I will do that in a bit. So you can see a couple of microcontrollers or microprocessors we have here. This here is the same as what we've been using. This also an ESP. This is an ESP32. All right. This is an ESP32. It's almost the same as, it's similar to what we're already using, right? But this is just a new one that came in the mail. Now, this one here is ESP. I think this is 2866. Let me be sure. This is H266, yes. So this is ESP8266, right? Now, this, comparing this to the ESP32, you realize that the pin out, strange, let's see. So the pin out is a bit different from the ESP32, all right? I wanted to share something, the reason why I brought this out, because a couple of weeks ago I got some headers, all right, that would have allowed me to mount the ESP8266, right, onto some extension that will allow me to make it easy for connectivity. Now, and I think, yeah, that was this. Yeah, this is it. So this would have allowed me to connect, where's the ESP8266, this one. Yeah. Yep. Wait a minute. Okay, so this is A0. Yep. Exactement. So this is what I was trying to. So this is ESP8266, right? Pretty much, almost, same, not the same specs as ESP32, but in the same family of expressive chipsets. Now, if you look at this closely, all right, this here is what we call the groove connectors, right? And in order not to use soldering boards, and then all this cabling and all that, I thought, what, if I could get one for the ESP32, which is what we are using, which is this one. Now, as of now, Seed Studio doesn't have the one for ESP32, which is the one we're using. They have for ESP8266. So I got one of these, and this is how it would work. So I would connect. I think my headers are a bit bent. Sorry. I would have to, adjust them a bit. Anyway, so with this, I would connect my, as you can see, this way, right? I would align it this way. Let me be sure that because one of the pins is actually out of place. Yeah, I want to make sure that, sorry guys, I just want to make sure. Okay, awesome. So see this. So now we have the ESP8266 sitting on the groove connector, all right, this way. Now, with that done, let me put this here. I'll talk about this in a bit. With this done, what I can do now is I can use, and here you can see I have like a whole lot of groove sensors, a bunch of the groove sensors here, all right? So I could now pick something like, you see this PR, this sensor, or even the relay. Now what I can do here is, instead of connecting to jumper wires and all that, I can now use this JTAG, all right? I can connect this and then easily connect this to it. You see that? So I can connect this very easily. I can pick another, there you go. Yeah, let's open this up. I can pick another of it. Let's say connect this here. All right. And then connect it in there. All right, this is a different JTAG cable. Sorry guys. Yeah, I have a bunch of them, so there you go. Yeah, so this one. So now I can connect this relay, right? And I mean, I'm not connecting it to the right GPIOs. I'm just showing you how easy. So you see this. So with this, I can connect a lot more sensors to it without having to run a lot of cables, as in jumper wires and breadboards and all that and the message. So I can do my prototyping very easily. All right. So that is the reason why I got this for ESP8266. Now, however, because the ESP32, they didn't have one for it because it was a bit different. What I did was I ended up finding this one. I found this one over the internet. This one is coming from Electro Cookie. Yeah, and again, it's not paid or sponsored. I just purchased it myself and technically using it. So I'm not even, I think I have one. Okay, yeah. So there you go. So for this as well, so this is how it comes. And as you can see, it has rainbow cables, which, so you can actually create your JTAG cables just like this. You see the way you have these JTAG cables. You can also create yours. So they give you the rainbow cable. I have a bunch of these already. They give you some standoffs so you can elevate it. And then I think it has this screw for setting it up. So it's almost the same concept, all right? The same concept if you compare it with this, all right? If you compare with the groove. However, so you see this one is ESP32 Dev Kit C, which I think I have here. So you see this? So this here is the ESP32 Dev Kit C, right? Which is the same thing in this box. It's also an ESP32 based dev kit. So something funny just happened. ECG technically just took my light. Yes. So fortunately, I'm running on a bunch of UPSs that give power that give power to my how do you call it? That give power to my my light, my main light here, which you're seeing, and then also my internet. So we can run for a bit. All right. So let's go for it. So this one here is not a group, but it gives you the same thing. So like I was saying, so this here is the ESP. Let me bring it up here so you can see this very well. Sorry, because of the light that just went off. So this is the ESP. Oh wow, they brought it back. Interesting. Well, so so this is the ESP32, the Dev Kit C. All right. So with that, what that means is that now I could also go ahead, all right, and then move this. You see this here? And then we can put this here the same way. Look at this. All right, the same way we can fix it here. So let's see. Let's try to connect this. So this is ground 5. Okay, let's see. It's a bit. Let's see. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to connect it. So 3 volts. Okay. Yeah, the light is back, so a bunch of stuff in my room is turning back on. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, okay, so let's see this. So yeah, so like I said, so this here would mean you can put the Dev Kit C in here, and then also now instead of the groove cables, this one allows you to use just one of the ordinary rainbow cables and connect stuff to it. All right, so I'll be experimenting on this over the week, and yeah, I'll give you guys feedback on how this goes. All right, yeah, I mean it's just ways. Sometimes when you're prototyping, you're just looking for ways to make, just to make things a lot easier, for you. So that's pretty much, yeah. So in terms of new things to share, let me throw this here. In terms of all the new things to share, that is all I have to, which one is this? Yeah, there you go. So in terms of stuff to share, that is all I have to share for new dev kit or stuff that have come in the mail that I want to share. Now, however, so for the guy who asked about the Uno, these are some of the sensors you could technically use. So there's a gas sensor. This is a MQ9. We'll look at the reference and you can see the gases this can detect. And then you have a flex sensor. You can be creative about the usage of it. Let's put this here. And then you have your the HCSR04 distance sensor, right? It's just an ultrasonic. So one of it sends some ultrasonic sound wave, and then the other one is waiting for a reflection of that sound wave back into it, so it's able to detect, the distance. Just to calculate the distance, right? So let's go back to what we're using, which is our ESP32 and this. Before then, now this came in the mail for me. So this here is also an ESP32 here. Let me bring it closer. But this is the official dev kit for the Azure SDK, right? This is the official dev kit. So this out of the box would work with the embedded C. If you just downloaded all these things into it, it would work straight out of the box. All right. So because we've already, and if you look at it, it also has a pin ground. So 3 volts. Why am I tempted to think this will be compatible with, it's not a 40 pin. I don't think so. Yeah. So that's going to, so yeah, here you can see there are pins here where you can connect stuff to it, which is just connected to the board, and you can, but it has on board, it has a couple of things here. So this is the ESP32 Azure IoT Dev Kit. We'll take a look at it in a bit, and then we would explore it, look at the functionalities of it, and then before we come back to it. Now, in other news, Arduino IDE 2.0 is out. So if you haven't tried it, please make sure you go try it out. Arduino IDE 2.0, right? Make sure you go try that out. So let's go ahead. Before we start getting into it, let's go and look at the specs for the ESP32 Azure IoT Dev Kit, which I just showed you, which is this kit, this one. There you go, this one. It has LCD on board, it has a few things. So, and I'm experiencing some interesting behavior in my Chrome. It looks like there's some terrible pixels showing up. I don't know if I have to restart my machine, but that's what I'm seeing. I don't know if you can see the same thing. It's like there's a lot of flickering on the screen. Okay, so let's go and look at it. ESP32. Am I typing 31? ESP32 Azure IoT Kit. There you go. Yeah, which is this one, right? So if you go to, let's open this up here and connect this with the tuition to okay. So yeah, there's some, yeah, we've seen this quick. I was just looking out for, okay, so the Arduino libraries, I think we've set this up, and it's the same process or the same way if you want to set up your ESP32 with Arduino, which we've done already for the dev kit, the one we're using on the bench. So it's nothing crazy. But let's go and look at the catalog to see some of the kits that are officially officially taking. So here, this is it, as you can see that. Let's see if we can find one that has the spec sheet. So this is not a spec sheet, but this pretty much gives you some. Let's see if we can open this up. So let me go with this and save this image so we can expand this image. Let's put it on the desktop. Yeah. Yep. You can close this. Yeah, so this is it. Expressive ESP32 Azure IoT Dev Kit. We can look at, so as you can see, enables smart network configuration. It has got the cloud platform access, sensor detection. So the low power sleep mode. It has an OLED, which you've seen. It has a buzzer as well, inbuilt buzzer. So yeah, okay, I see the buzzer here. So you can trigger it to do a bunch of stuff. I think I see, okay, wide applicability. We'll look at the hardware characteristics. I just want us to review this dev kit quickly before we jump into today's session. It can be used for sensor detection, cloud platform access. It looks like it's the same thing here, but let's see. Variety of interface. Yeah. So I see audio, I see light, I see speaker, I see. So it has an ESP32. We know that. It has a, okay, so here you can also connect a LiPo battery to it. It has an OLED micro SD slot. It has a buzzer. It has a touch sensor, touch buttons, LEDs, and other hardware sensors. Let's go and look at what it has for us. We've seen this. Okay, let's go and look at the resource. I was more concerned about, not concerned, but more interested in, the, okay, let's see. ESP, not the packaging, not the production, not the hardware guide. Let's see. Guidelines, layout. Nah. Okay, so it looks like, but I'm surprised by they wouldn't have a spec sheet for this and rather be showing us just the, okay, let's just go to, you know, Mauser where we have, oh, actually, we've already downloaded it, right? Right. Yeah, this is at least, this gives us some info. So again, we know we have it has a Wi-Fi on it, ESP32. Well, this is a resource. Let's go ahead and look at this image, which will point us to the items we have on it. Okay, so with the layout, okay, let me lay it out just like we're seeing it on the screen. So we can see the input output connectors on this side, the thing in the white side. The reset button is here, and if you look here, there's a temperature and humidity sensor, right? So that's the first one, temperature and humidity sensor. The second one is the barometer. Okay, so it has an onboard barometer. It has an ambient light sensor. All right, it has an ambient light sensor. Then this one is a magnetometer. Then it also has a motion sensor. Okay, so it can sensor motion as well. Then you have the ESP32 rover model, which is this one here, the main thing. It has a buzzer right here down, and then it has an OLED screen, and then it has a micro USB port. I'm sure we'll connect it to do a lot of stuff. Then the battery connector here, and then the ESP32. We've seen this already. So packed with a bunch. So someone will ask why this over the regular ESP32. Let's go back to the bench. Let me explain something. So currently, all right, let's do this. I need to find a way to, you know, tie this thing down, but hold on, let me just set this up. Okay. Yeah, stay close. All right. Let's push you people here. Okay, so now take a look at this. So you see this ESP32, I've only connected it to a temperature humidity sensor right here. Okay, right here. Now, if I wanted to connect another sensor, which is still ESP32, and send the data, I'd have to find a way to connect it to it, because this even doesn't have group sensors. So I'll be doing something like this with a jumper cable, connecting this DHT11 temperature and humidity sensor. All right. Now think about that. With this has a temperature humidity sensor, has a barometer, has an ambient light sensor. It has everything in one. All right. So now, instead of doing this and connecting the extra sensors to it, I could just pick this. I could just use this and have access to all the other stuff on it and send that data, okay, right into Azure or into any cloud, right? So I would say that I could use this for prototyping. However, I think the question or the problem is that not everybody has access to this. All right. And the more reason why this is coming in. So take this as this with all the other sensors connected to it, and then you're using. But because of availability, someone might not have access to this one and would want to use this. So that's why it makes sense to understand how to connect this. And this I showed in the previous episode. All right. So we're going to go ahead, open our Azure IoT Hub, look at it, and then provision this new one. All right. And then continue from there into sending the telemetry. Right. So let's do this. And again, if you have your questions, don't forget to drop them, whether you are from Facebook, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, all that. Just drop it, and I would try to answer the question for you. All right. Okay, let's do this. So, what I want to, I forgot. Last, Arduino week, lots of interesting stuff. I think Arduino.cc. If I get a lot of interest in a lot of Arduino Cloud, I'll probably do one episode on how to connect your devices to Arduino Cloud, to do device to cloud and cloud to device communication. All right. But right now, Let's go to portal. Oh. Don't change it. I just want, sorry about that. I don't know why I wanted to share them. Yeah, Arduino week was awesome. Lots of crazy ideas and stuff. Where is that? Software. Let's go to the software. Let's go here. Let's log into our Azure account. What? Oh, look at that. Look at what I typed on. Now, on the issue of devices and all that, all right, I'm going to share with you three sites that allow you to have simulations of hardware or kits if you don't have it. I know, especially because of our on this side of the world, okay, on this side of our world where we don't, it's quite difficult to get access to some of these things readily. All right, so I'll share that with you. Actually, whilst we load, I think, okay, then how about I share that with you today, and then at least I'll know that I was useful to you people today. Yeah, no, I just get carried out with all these toys and crazy stuff that I get. You know, some of them I haven't played with them yet because of work stuff and other things I'm doing. So I'm gonna do a call for playmates. Yeah, so if you're interested in testing out any of this dev kit and building stuff on 3D printers and putting them together, and just hit me up. Let's put something together, you know. And yeah, maybe, you know, this can work. All right, so let's get into the three websites, actually four. I want to share four websites with you that allow you to simulate devices if you don't have physical ones. All right, so the first one here is Circuito.io. So I'm going to drop that in. Yeah, and I'll add that as resources for this episode when it goes live, so you can really look at it. All right, so that's the first one, Circuito.io. So what this does, like you can see, it allows you to create an app. Okay, so easy drag and drop. Do you know anyone that you can use offline? Thomas, welcome to the show. Welcome. It's good to see someone new. Thomas, yes, there are some of them you can use offline. I believe there's one that, just a sec, let me see. Yeah, no, most of them are online, but there's one that where's that list? Give me a sec, please. Let me check. Okay. I'll pull that up and I'll share that with you. So it's a promise. So Circuito.io, first off, drag and drop. You know, if you create an app, you know, select the hardware you're going to use, and then, you know, you can personalize it, and it does a couple of things for you. It actually generates the Arduino sketch. Thank you. Welcome. Anytime. Anytime, Thomas. So let's see. Let's just say go to app, all right, and then agree to terms, and then next. So you see that I tried to do a few things, and there were some parts already showing, all right. So let's do that. So you realize that the canvas looks like, you know, it has an Arduino Uno on it, right? You see the Arduino Uno. Let's zoom in a bit. There you go. All right. And if you look on the left side here, there are a lot of parts. So let's say I look for DHT. There you go. So I can just drop this in here, and then look at that. Automatically, it generates for me the connection. So I know I need to put, you know, a 10 kilo ohms resistor here. This is connected, and it does a connection for me. All right. If this is all I want, I can go here to the top here. Look at this. Go to code, and look at that. It has created the entire Arduino sketch for me, and you can look at it on this left here. So they've created all the files for you where you can easily just download, you know, and then deploy on your device, especially in this case here, your Arduino Uno. All right. And then, yeah, pretty much that's it. And then if you want to build a whole circuit and stuff like that, you know, yeah, it would allow you to do that. They have some integration into some other stuff. If you want to do your own circuit diagram, that's Fridzin. But I would, yeah. So Fridzin Fridzin is one of them that is offline, but I don't think Fridzin generates code. I mean, to be very honest, I don't remember if Fridzin generates any code like this one, where I can pick the stuff that I want and then go to code and it generates it for me. I'm not sure Fridzin does that. So let's see. I swap it with what? So here, I want to swap the Arduino Uno. Let's see if they have an ESP. All right. So ESP. Yes, they have ESP32. So look at this. I'm swapping it with, there you go, ESP32. Let's go. Yes, alpha. I still want to swap it. There you go. So it does a swapping. Look at that. And then it generates. All right. So this is it. All right. And if I go to code, check this out. If I go to code, look at that. It's generated. So I know Arduino H, DHT.h. It's generated it for me. Yay. You know, I can just download this and put it into it. Yeah, Thomas. You need to see me. I know, right? Yeah. I know. Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, but don't worry, the others coming. 6 minutes to top of the, and I even didn't start to do what I wanted to do. Anyway, it's still a resource. So let's go to the second one. Yeah, so this is the first one, Circuito.io. You can do this, right? So connect it. So that's it. I'll share that with you. I was trying to connect here to Outlook to my, and then that was taking time, so I decided to show you the two. So let's just go to the tools here. So the second one is Renode.io. Let me share that as well. Renode.io. So for Renode.io, almost the same, you know, but it's a bit, for me, I mean, even for someone who has to do IoT, you know, the first time I was like, this feels a bit, you know, there's so much going on, you know, unlike, you know, Circuito where you just drag and drop. But the good thing about Renode is that, you know, Renode helps you to do a lot of testing. Just like if you're building regular, you know, applications, web applications, you would write some test cases and test to make sure functions and things are working. Now, Renode does the same thing for IoT or embedded systems. It is hard for you to test how your code or your firmware would work on different hardware, all right? And that is where Renode comes in, all right? Has a lot of stuff with Zephyr. If you've not tried Zephyr before, look into it. That's, I mean, for those that are serious to do embedded, you know, engineering and stuff like that, you need to look into that. So Renode is something similar, all right? So it allows you to also use simulators to actually also test. So you can actually use a Renode into your CI/CD pipeline, where you make modifications to your, you know, your embedded firmware. You push it, Renode will deploy it on some, you know, simulated devices, run it and give you, you can do all the test cases. So that is the cool thing about Renode. And that's the second thing I want to share with you for rapid application testing and IoT or embedded stuff. The third one I want to share with you today, which I would also drop in here, is the wokwi.com. All right, it's the same thing here. So almost like Secreto, but I must say that for me, I started with my personal favorite, which is the Secreto, because that's much easier for me. So here again, the same thing. All right, you can see Uno, Mega, ESP32, ESP32 Macro Pi, Arduino Nano, Pi Pico. So since we've been talking about ESP32, you can just select this one, you know, and you can see that once you selected this one, you have the base, you know, and I can actually run the simulation here, and then I'll select the serial, open the serial monitor, and then I'll see it. All right, I'll see what's happening here. Now, it also generates, this diagram you're seeing is generated by JSON, so you can also use it. And if you want to install other libraries, so let's say, for instance, so you see that this is the result of it, and you see there are LEDs here, so we can simulate it. So for this one, if you don't have an ESP32, you can use it. So here, if you want to install any library, so you realize that we're using the Azure library. So I could hit the plus here, and then let's do Azure. All right, let's do the Azure. Let's see if they have, yeah, look at that. So you see here, you have the Azure SDK for C, there's the Azure IoT, there's the Azure. So since we're doing the Azure SDK for C, I'll include this in it. And what this does is that it has included the Azure SDK for C into the Wokwi. So if I go back to my sketch, right, I can now, as part of, I can now include it because the library is here for me. All right. So for this one, so you see it includes so the only thing that I find, this would be for people that are a bit, let's say intermediate or getting close to advanced, because then you need to know what you're doing. All right. You need to know that, oh, I need to include this library, and then you can test it here and then simulate it. So you don't necessarily need to, how do you call it? You don't necessarily need to, well, let me stop this. This is running. That's why you see the timing here. So you don't necessarily need to have a physical ESP32. So for all the things I'm doing, you can copy the code, which I'll show on GitHub, and then come and paste them here and try it out, all right, without having to purchase an ESP32. So that's one of the cool things about it. But if you're just starting out and you want help with the entire code, Secreto is your, is your best bet. Then the last one before we say good night for today, even though we couldn't achieve that, so forgive me. I think this is also very important to share with you guys. So forgive me because we couldn't get to the main thing. And lately, I'm trying to be very respectful of time. So trust me, in the next episode, I'll do that. We'll go straight to it once that I've shared all the tools and resources. Then the last one before we call it at night is TinkerCAD. Now, a lot of people think that TinkerCAD is just basically for, it's basically just for 3D drawing, designing, modeling, and printing on a 3D printer. No, TinkerCAD from Autodesk has a circuit session of it. All right. So here you see the same thing. So the circuit part of it allows you to do the same thing, and even to use visual programming like Scratch. So you can build, program, and enhance and do stuff like that. So here you can start a simulation on basic, this is a very basic UI. It can help you with, editing components, wiring. So let's click this one here. Or pretty much, and they have starters. All right. So this is more geared towards, bootcamp for IoT, for kids or people, just beginner IoT stuff. You can leverage on this to do it. All right. I used to think about, I think, yeah, I know, right? But again, you're back to your question of which, Thomas, which one is offline. I'll quickly show you Fridzin. I don't know. Now, it's been a long time since I used Fridzin, but I don't know if Fridzin has actually done some updates where the update actually allows you to generate code. But I'll be very honest, I've not used Fridzin to generate code before. So, but then we can explore that. We're all learning in which ways here. So, as you can see, this is kind of like a traffic light simulation. So if I play the simulation, I'm sure that, there's code here that allows you to toggle between the three lights, So yeah, as you can see, one is showing what this one is showing. Yeah. So yeah, pretty much here you can see the components. You can drag and drop them here. Let me see if they have an ESP. If they don't have an ESP32, Well, we don't have an ESP32 here, so let's show all, right? And then let's do ESP. So here, that'll be, I mean, again, definitely when you start to teach people, Arduino or microcontrollers or IoT, definitely you won't jump to ESP32, right? You're going to start with the Unos and stuff. So this is perfect for teaching kids in areas where one of the questions is, how do I get this kit for kids? And I know a lot of boot camps people are teaching at IoT for kids, and the kits are quite expensive. Like it's expensive. So this will be one way for you to simulate it, and then you can use a few devices to complement, with that. So that's the last thing I'm going to share with you today. I've shared with you Secreto.io, Renode, and Wokwi.io. Now, to answer Thomas's question, let's close this. Yeah, let's leave. And then go make sure you go check out only required. Make sure you check out Arduino IDE version 2, right? Because lots of good stuff. So Thomas, I think I have Fridzin. Yeah, so guys, this is what I'm talking about. So I am a Windows insider. So I get the latest update of Windows inside, like versions of Windows. And you realize that my start dialog has a lot of ants or mystery flies on it. I don't know what's happening, but I think I need to give that feedback. It just started, I think, later this evening when I did an update, restarted the machine. So let's go and look at Fridzin. Now, for Fridzin, like I said, it's been a while. I don't know if there has been an update. Yeah, Fridzin, yes. And that's the thing. That was amazing, Chief. Best Arduino suggestion I made. Yeah. And here and Thomas, hey, feel free. You know what? Just hit me up. Just let me know, if you need any. Yeah, if you need any, help. All right. And I'll be, I'll try to, help you out there. So Fridzin, I don't know if you have mystery flies. Yeah, it's true. I don't know what's happening there, but so let's go open source, blah blah. Yeah, let's go to download, and I think they have also a parts library now. But Fridzin is one of the very old. Trust me, one of the very old. PCB circuit design tools that I started out with when I was using. I don't think they have done anything to it. Trust me, it's pretty much the same thing. The only thing would be new updates. 2021 parts library. Yeah, I don't think there's any major updates. So yeah, so this is how it looks like. So these are some of the recent things I've done. It's the same thing. You have a plane. You can start from. Oh, I see code. Really? Some? Are you sure? So this is one of my prototypes I did when I was doing the hand wash thing, because I needed to connect servos to that, and I was running an Uno with that. So Thomas, one of the things I did was, I think I should go and look for that video and share, where I built a hand wash machine from Arduino and a bunch of these sensors and a servo and servos, and I use PVC pipes. I just use PVC pipes to do that, and I did, and this was one of the things this is why I use. So my primary usage for Fridzin was just breadboard schematic, and I could capture that and add in my technical documentations, right? I do need some. Yes. So you know what? Just send me a hi on Twitter at Esadre. I just shared that. Yeah. Yes. I will look for that video for you. Maybe that'll be the closing video that I will share that before we close for the night. So, and trust me, I think code has been here for a long time, but I really haven't used it. So let's see. Let's open code and see. You see? Nothing. So I can create the PCB. I can create the schematics. All right. I can look at the breadboard, but it doesn't create the code for me. So I think I would have to type in my own code. So it's Arduino Uno COM3. So this is just, Oh, okay. I get it. I get it. I get it. So trust me, I've only used it to get this and share, but it looks as if I could do that. And also, this is just, if you look at it, this is almost like an IDE where I could write the code, that the sketch here, and then test it right from here. So, but it also has parts, a lot of parts you can, put here. Let's see if I can find, let's see if I do ESP. Let's see. I think they have ESP, right? No, if I say ESP32, yeah, I doubt they will have. But the thing is that Fridzin has, if you go online, people have created parts you can import into Fridzin, right? So yeah, so there you go, you have Fridzin. And let me show you. So let me see if I can open that sketch. And it's been a long, I've just packed that thing. It's somewhere in my room, but it's down there somewhere. Yeah, so this was another one that I did. This was one of the iterations I had using batteries and this sensor, but this one was too sensitive to sunlight, so it wasn't working. So I had to change the sketch to use, so let me see, soap, water, paper. Yes, so I think this is, so soap water dispenser record. So I created a couple of iterations before I finally built it. So yeah, and thanks to my long-term friend Ishmael has been touring Ghana without me. So yeah, so Thomas, this, and anyone else watching showing interest, this was the final schematic of how I built my hand wash. So I had here I had two pumps here. This one was for the water. And guys, you see this pump here? I created this pump myself. I remember very well. I created this pump part myself. I used CorelDRAW, and then I created it myself, and I added it to the Fridzin part library. So can you show times you go live? Because finally I can do something. Yes. So I stream live every Tuesday, Fridays and Sundays. But because if you're interested in IoT and technology, it is Tuesdays and Fridays. Yeah, but Tuesdays are basically for IoT, right, Thomas? So you can hit me up. So every Tuesday, 8 p.m., I go live, and then we mess around and we build stuff like that. Yeah. So let me actually bring this here. Yeah. Let's see if I can. Yep. Yeah. So like I was saying, so these two components here, I created them myself, because at that time Fridzin didn't have for meme hunting. No, spend the time, learning something that you can show off and use to build something. So I'll share my video before we close off for today. So yeah, so these two components, I created them myself. I created this component myself to use for the documentation. So this here, and I think I open source this, so you can go and check this out. And then, you can check this out. So here I have the buzzer here, and then I have a relay, a servo, right? And the servo is what I use to roll the paper. So that rolls the paper after you've washed your hands. So I had three sensors here, right? One was for water, one was for soap, and then one was for the paper towel. So if you put your hand close to it at a certain distance, it will trigger the water. If you did this, it will trigger the soap. If you did this, it will trigger and to fire off the pumps, I used this this as relay, right? I didn't use a big relay. I used this what's the name again? This is I forgot the name. Let's see. Yeah. So yeah, MOSFET. Yes. I use a MOSFET. So I use this MOSFET to serve as a relay. So instead of using the bulk, I thought I have a relay. Yeah. So most of the relays you see look something like this. All right. Let's go to the bench. Let me share this. So most of the relays will look something as bulky as this. All right. But for the purpose of this, I couldn't afford to have a lot. So I used the MOSFET, this MOSFET, to serve at that. Look at how we've switched from doing Azure C to this. But yeah, for the purpose of requesting that you ask, that's why I'm sharing this. So yeah, pretty much this is what I did. And before we go, let me close this out, and then let's go ahead and let me share with you that video that video. And if this sounds like something of interest to you, join me. Don't save. Join me every Tuesday. I'm yours truly, Samuel Adrani, and let me see. Let me share this. Let me see if I can find this for you. And I kept saying I have to rebuild it. And yeah, it was just it was the COVID times, all right. And I just had to do it, putting things around me. I had some PVC pipes laying there. I had some foil. Yeah, as you can see, it's showing me as live, but we don't want to go there. So let's say it's actually, so yes, if you go to YouTube and you Google Samuel Adrani, you find it. Yeah, so you can see all my stuff. But yes, this is it. 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 So, well, check this out. Okay, so moment of truth. Come to test it. So that is soap. And that is water. And if you look at the whole creation, it's just a bunch of PVC stuff, and then and then a foil. So, and this is all just Uno. So if you wanted to know what to do with the Uno, again, this was something I built. Now you realize that here I didn't have any motor for it. All right, actually, let me go and find there was a full one that I did that has the I think that is on Ishmael's page. Okay, just a sec, let me see. And that is how it would end. Let's see. No. What am I typing? Hold on. Yeah. This is Ishmael. Yes. So, and Ishmael was the one who was like, so we have to record and do this. Don't worry. We're taking a detour, but
so I've got my essay
just
written,
a sec.
and I've been working on it for about a week.
Forget about this. Let's go to Ishmael's page. And let's see. Ishmael was the one who actually encouraged me to record the whole process, which I did. I see Ishmael has a lot of shots. I don't do short. Anyways, well, I guess we are running out of time, but don't worry, Thomas, I would find that and share for you guys. So yeah, also follow my friend Ishmael. He does a lot of DIY stuff. From time to time we collaborate to build crazy stuff. So yes, so if this sounds like something that's of interest to you, you can join me. We've already done this Tuesday. You can join me every Tuesday, 8 p.m. GMT time. We'll talk about IoT stuff, have fun with gadgets, and yeah. So next week we're going to finish up with this. What we couldn't do what we wanted because I just got carried away. We saw other kits and stuff like that. Next week we're going to finish the last part. I wanted to start a new series on Azure IoT once I was done with it. So next week we're going to connect it and then we'll send it to IoT Hub, and then we'll do IoT Central the week after. So if this sounds like something of interest to you, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Subscribe, join us, hit the notification bell so that anytime I release a new video, you get it. Ask your friends to join, and hey, we're trying to grow the channel. And anytime you have a question, just hit me up. I remain yours truly, Samuel Adrani, and this has been IoT Tuesday. Stay safe, learn something new, be productive, and let's make the world a better place through tech. I am out.